Another untold story and another night with ALMazeedi and Hassan Ajuz to talk about yet another story.
Absolutely. We have
feel.
another guest here joining us today.
Yes.
And our topic is theater.
Yes.
Are you a fan of theater?
I love it.
Yeah.
I've been on stage once.
You've
theater,
been on stage yourself?
once for a stand-up comedy improvised.
Wait, you did stand-up comedy? Wait,
Improvised.
hold on.
Improvised. We're gonna do that, a separate episode about that one.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, very interesting topic today. Let's just get onto it.
Let's get on to it.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the show on the Untold, and we're welcoming our very special guest, student of theater, or I should say a master of theater.
Exactly.
Alison Shan Price. Welcome on the show.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Untold.
Thank you for having me.
Honestly.
I guess I want to begin with the beginning of your story. First of all, you're an expat from the UK,
Yes,
right? Been in Kuwait for
nearly 40
almost
years.
40 years.
Yeah.
That's 4 decades.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Time flies.
Yeah.
Why Kuwait? What got you into theater? Was that something you studied earlier on?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Yes.
My parents were really heavily involved with theatre. I remember watching my mum from the wings when I was little. And if she ever had anything, then I had to be the little child who was in the show.
Okay.
So any show, and they say, oh, I've got a daughter who could do this. And I used to turn up and find out, oh, not the baby again. So that sort of situation. I took physics. My father decided that theatre wasn't the right thing for me to do, although I was in the National Youth Theatre of Wales and I toured quite a bit.
Fair.
So what happened after that is to go into theatre. My own children hadn't got much to do in Kuwait, and I gave parties. Basic parties where we made things out of paper and took the house out and stuff
Right.
like this. So it was all fun and games, and he'd invite a few children, and everybody would come from the neighbourhood.
Oh,
So I thought, oh, there's something children need.
Right.
So I opened a drama school.
nice.
So that was called Cast.
But how did
But
that
yeah,
happen?
how did we get to Kuwait even?
No. The thing is, it's not about like you saw. So you're inviting the neighborhood
Yeah,
to your
I
place.
wasn't, only a few children, they brought everybody.
Yeah. So everyone was just coming to
Yeah, 'cause
gather
it's fun.
around and talk and have fun, and then
Play games.
exactly,
Yes.
and then an idea of
The children needed something.
nice. So you
Yeah,
saw
there
you
wasn't
saw a
anything.
gap in the market. and you're like,
Absolutely.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's quite actually how it was.
It's exactly what
I didn't know it would take off so much. So
Right,
I went to one of the schools and said, could I rent out? And they produced an agreement with me. So in that area, and all the children from different schools came, and that was the first drama school called Cast. And a lot of people who've actually gone abroad and gone into the professional
Okay.
fields now, they came from there. They
Okay.
came from Kuwait. They all touched on that.
So
then I
that's
realised
what I want you to touch on. What brought you to Kuwait out of anywhere in the Middle East or the planet for that?
Oh, right.
Hello.
Yes, of course. Well, I love travelling. I was one of those children, really small. My mum's got the black and white films
Yeah.
where I would run off in the distance. And I was free. But when the film shows, it's always grandparent who's running after me at the same time. But I thought I'd cross over and go over horizons and have adventures.
You're a traveller.
And a traveller.
Yeah.
And my parents went to Africa when I was 7, and we toured down from Joburg down to Cape Town. And then we arrived on the old mail boats, the Union Castle line mail boats, the
Yeah.
wood and glass ones that have no stabilizers, and you take a couple of weeks to get there. And Africa was my childhood. So when I went back to Wales, or went to Wales where my father was born, I met my husband. And we got married early, and we thought, right, he's a chemist, and what to do is live here or have an adventure.
Yeah.
And we met somebody who was from Kuwait, and that sounded a good thing.
It's
So
interesting how that's such a beautiful coincidence, to be honest. You met someone from Kuwait and just you jumped.
that sounded fun.
you
So
made
we
a
went for an
whole-
interview, and yeah.
I like that. It seems like you're a bit of a risk taker, I think, in everything I've heard so far. Like you're someone that's on
Yeah, I'm a
opportunity.
risk taker, but I make sure that I've got my safety net underneath.
Okay.
I think that if a lot of people now go, oh yes, I can do this, go and talk to a lot of people about what they've
Yeah.
done beforehand.
Yeah.
Get a backer. You've always got to have somebody who will support you if it
Yeah.
fails. But failure is a good thing because it's never a failure. It's not in your
Right.
vocabulary. You go, okay, well that didn't work, so it's going to work here and then there. But
Exactly.
you can't lose money. That's the major thing.
Exactly. As they say, if you want to fall, just make sure to fall forward. Like, just
Absolutely.
just
Yes.
keep
And
going.
not on top of anybody.
100%. So Ahmed started the episode talking about the master of theatre, right? So can you, because obviously, so you've had a tremendous experience in theatre. Take us through the journey of theatre specifically after all these experiences. She came to Kuwait,
Yes.
and then
I was physics. Huh?
What was it?
Like, my father made me take a degree.
Right.
Yes.
And then I was told in school that only boys could take physics and it wasn't a girls' subject. So I went,
Wow.
fine.
Okay.
That's the one I'm going to do.
so
so
we gotta
so I
fight back.
did it.
Yeah.
And that was a shock. And it came to a point when I was at that time in Britain when they weren't taking engineers on, female engineers. It wasn't time yet. Margaret Thatcher hadn't said you have to take women.
Okay.
And I would go into a company, Marconi or British Aerospace. I had the degree and I had everything. And they go, no, because I was the only woman. And I walk into the canteen and I can see it. If you imagine Legally Blonde with the long hair and the pink suit, that was me. Because I wouldn't change my style.
Love it.
Love it.
So they went, no. And they go, no, you're going to get married and go, we can't have you. So that was said all the way and I realised that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So thank heavens it didn't. So I'm here.
I love how brave you are in your character and how you always wanted to kind of fight against the norms.
Really?
Yes,
I think-
and still I do.
And I think that's, we're talking about theatre, I think we can agree that that's a core skill in theatre.
Yes,
Like, to
yeah.
kind of be brave.
And speaking of theater, you act,
Yes.
you write,
Yeah.
do you direct as well?
Oh, I'm
Stage plays?
directing is the
You're
major
direct,
one.
yeah.
I'm a professional director.
Director,
Yeah.
actor, writer, producer.
Yes.
What else can we add to that list?
Well, I feel that certainly because I train a lot of young people who want to go into the business, you have to be able to do absolutely everything in your company. Because you can't have a company and go, oh, I'll get somebody else to do it.
Right.
Because often somebody's sick or off, or it's certainly if you're in the professional field, they've got another job somewhere else and they're running in. So I had to be able to do everything, lighting, sound.
You had to learn.
And then I was
Sure.
told, keep away from the lighting. Because when I get excited, the lighting all goes crazy. It's like an energy
Okay.
contact. So I worked with a wonderful person called Wiz, and he was Camco. And his team, James, and the boys from there, and they used to come for every show.
Wow.
And they used to be brilliant because it's a not-for-profit company that I've got. Because I'll always invest in something, or if we've done a child show, then they always say to me, the children say, what charity are we going to give a bit donate to, and all the money goes. So always start with zero. So I have zero budget. So they know this. So he'd always say, give me a breakfast and I'll come bring the lights for you. And if we were working at Beit Abdullah Children's Hospice, which everything went to charity, then he'd come and donate star curtains and find a snow machine. And everybody helped. So if you go into theatre, not for profit, you get so much back. You get tremendous
That's good
support.
to hear that. Theater can
I've
be
never
so
had a problem.
giving
The theatre is, and people are.
people
It
are,
must have taught you a lot about people. Like,
Yes, it does.
How selfless people can be sometimes. Because I'm assuming you can start the journey thinking that no one's going to support me, I'm going to be alone and whatnot, and then you suddenly feel like, hey,
Frightened is the
listen.
word.
Yeah, especially in Kuwait to see support for theater.
Yes.
And specifically Shakespearean theater, the style that you guys do, to have that there is a market for it in Kuwait and an audience for it.
Yeah.
Was that shocking to have that revelation?
No.
No.
You expected it?
No.
You expected to have that?
I've always, every show that we've had big shows. We've been out and done Evita. We've got the license from Andrew Lloyd Webber and all big shows like that. So because of that, we had great audiences and they followed through. Now we perform at the Dar al Islamiyah in the cultural seasons.
Okay.
So of course we've got that audience coming through. And last year, was it last year? I think it was, yes. You know the 2 weeks that we had when we didn't have lockdown for COVID?
Right.
We gave a show to the country. We funded it, our company, and we had 4 shows a day, and it was the Tales of Ebenezer Scrooge at the Dar. And the Dar gave us the theatre for free, and they gave us the lighting, etc., because that costs a lot.
Yeah.
So together, and then also from City Centre, we had big mince pies and coffee came, all free, and
So,
Christmas tree and
a lot
everything.
of people contributed to the making of the show and supporting
yes, but
it.
it was to give the country a fund, so everybody came in really serious at the beginning because they were still in mask.
Yeah.
At the end, they were laughing, and that was our joy. That was the feedback that we had. That's our
Nice.
payment. that they were so happy at the end of it.
But that's your vision anyway. That's
Yes.
your DNA as a person and as a corporation, right?
absolutely.
And that's why you built.
Yes.
What's
And that's why it would go on. Everything would go on if it has a reason and has a meaning.
A purpose.
For purpose, for people.
Yes.
And if we look at a country, it's my politics going here. A country is not a geolocation. You have a geolocation,
Right.
right, in Britain.
Right.
Often people forget that Britain is the country of people. It's the people.
yeah.
Right.
And
people
Kuwait
makes
is the
makes the
people.
country. Yeah.
The fact that it's a geolocation could have been given to somebody else, and in history it has been.
Yeah.
So it's about the people.
So would you tell me about your first time on a stage? Were you like 3, 4?
5.
5.
Yes.
You're 5 years old.
Yes.
First time on a theater.
Wow. Okay.
Let's talk about something that's very common for actors: stage fright. Did you face that as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old? When
No,
did
I
you
was angry.
overcome it?
No, at 5 I was angry.
Angry.
Angry, yeah.
What do you,
because
they put
angry
you
at
out.
what?
I was
Angry
really
at
angry about my mum. My mum was very much into the theatre. She did a lot,
Right.
as I was saying. And there was always a show, Sound of Music was one of them, where there's a baby, a little child. And I always used to be brought in for the little child. And I used to look around and go, yep, I'm the baby again, that's a 5. And I always remember sitting on Maria's lap, and she had this silky dress, remember the blue
Yeah.
dress that she wears? And when she meets the Captain Von Trapp, and she sings and does all that, and I kept sliding off the dress. So all I remember. So I was great.
So you're saying you never really had that stage fright?
No, yes, if I'm a director and I'm acting at the same time, because I'm also looking at the play.
Yes, when you're
And
doing
so
2 roles in the
it's very
same
difficult.
production.
That's actually very, very interesting. I mean, Ahmed is more into theatre than I am. I am just very curious as how can you direct something if you're acting in there?
But normally you direct and step out.
Yeah.
So then you have to step. It's very difficult. So I try.
It
Not
must
to.
be so because you're within the cast. You're
Yes.
literally
It,
acting.
it can be easy when you think about it, because when you're the director you have the full vision,
Yeah.
so you know what role yourself you want
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
get on camera or on stage, so you can understand the role of the character and you understand what a director wants as a director, so it makes it easy in that point. But controlling the rest of the set while you're acting and calling the shots at the same time, I
Wow.
think is the challenge. But I feel like you've beat that challenge.
Well, no, never.
Never.
Because theatre's alive. It's very different to film.
True.
Film, you're told exactly what to do.
Yes.
You do it, and you
Absolutely,
go,
yeah.
and you don't know the show until you see yourself in the show.
Right.
And with theatre, it's alive, and therefore it must be a synergy between you, the actors, and the audience. So it's different every night.
Absolutely.
So suddenly, an actor opposite you will do something totally different to what they've done in the day, yesterday. Hence, you can't say your words the same way because
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's danger. And if you've got that fear, the fear is good because the
Yeah,
audience
it's
feel
good
it.
because
But you've
kind
also
of
got to
pushes you.
connect with your audience, and all my actors and my company do. And that's some of the workshops we do with them. And their aim is to make an audience feel, because why should an audience come out, decide to come to you,
Yeah.
have to drive in the traffic, come park their car,
Exactly.
and they give a whole night. It's not just half an hour or an hour. It's about 6 hours they have to plan for.
Yeah.
So why should they do that and run in if you don't give them that feeling?
100%. So you have to give them something that's kind of like it's more. You have to give them something that they should exactly an emotion, a feeling that they should care for. Love it. I love the world of theatre. It's not my specialty, I think, and Ahmed is definitely more passionate than I am. I find it very fascinating.
It is a very fascinating topic, and we'll carry on the conversation right after this break.
Is it from abroad? Are they in Kuwait? Where do they come from? How
No,
do you get
no,
such
they're
a
in Kuwait.
huge group?
In Kuwait.
So the talent exists in Kuwait,
Absolutely.
and it's a huge,
Absolutely. Yes,
huge pool.
it is tremendous. Certainly amongst Kuwaiti people and Arabic
Yeah.
actors. They're marvellous, because when I go back to Britain, I notice a very, which I say a difference.
Okay.
What is
In fact,
that difference?
the Arabic actor puts everything into the body and the voice and the emotion. It all goes into one.
Very interesting. I've never heard of that perspective. Like, why do you think that is? As a,
And
But you always do.
in contrast, what would the other actor do from the UK? They wouldn't put
We
all their
used to
energy
be
into their role.
from the UK. It's all in the voice.
It's all
So
in
a
the voice.
UK actor can stand there,
Yeah.
and you tell a story with a voice.
Like
And-
how your voice is like from our team have been saying, so
you.
mesmerizing.
Exactly. It's honestly, it very really is. Yeah.
And yes,
Keep
to
going.
mesmerize and to take you through bad times, sad times.
Yeah.
They train all here.
Right.
They're also being called the walking head.
The walking head.
We don't do anything with our body. We're changing that now.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Interesting. I mean, I'm curious to
Two
know how.
different approaches, I would say.
Yes. And I've seen that. I was very lucky to go and be invited to see Manfred Weckwercht, who was a German director with Berlin Ensemble with Bertolt Brecht, who is a master. He's a major master in the 1930s. And I watched him direct an English actor, one of our tops, and a German actress. And they were totally different. At the end of it, the synergy of both of them was mind-blowing. 3 hours, he was in his 80s.
Wow.
And brilliant.
And
So that's it. I've got different nationalities. So when I bring together them for the first warm-up and workshop, we have to find the common energy.
The common energy.
And that's so exciting because you
build
bring
upon
another
Yeah.
another nationality in, comes late. You've got to redo it again because it's a
Interesting.
different energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I love when you have a vision, honestly, of connecting people from different backgrounds.
It's like a melting pot.
That's so exciting.
with
But
the way you
keeping
do
your
it.
own individuality.
Yeah.
I think that in a lot of places people try and save this. In Britain, they try and say, oh, I've got somebody from Iran, I've got somebody
Yeah.
here. But then where is it? Where is it in the show? There's no,
gotta
I know
show the
that
spirit.
you've got to show something
Right.
that is somebody, because you're all individual, everybody's individual, but
Yeah.
you've still got to bring it together in that show.
And the audience must appreciate that.
They do, and it's lovely to see them notice their own
Yeah.
culture, and they go, "Oh, yes, we have one of ours in this show."
Nice.
They film it,
They're
you know?
proud of themselves,
Very
yeah.
much so.
I love it.
And we're doing more of that as I learn more. And if I've got somebody in the company
Yeah.
who is better than me, well, a lot of people are better than me. I know what I do really well.
Right.
And they come. We have a marvelous gentleman from the Philippines who's an opera singer, and he's the vocal trainer. And we've had people from Nigeria who've been the musical directors.
Wow.
And Kuwaiti directors.
Such a
Hamid Al-Janai.
global group of people working
Yes.
together.
And what we do if we bring workshops over from London to train them specially, we take them to London and we do London training. And also through LAMDA, London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, I brought in 20 years ago. Because how can you keep people in your drama school if you don't give them a qualification that is accredited?
Yeah, of course,
Right.
exactly.
It's a fake, isn't it fake? You're just saying play with me, play.
Yeah.
So they're able now to take those to universities or put it on their CV because it's
beautiful.
Yeah.
UCA accredited.
I'm curious to know, like, I can see a trend of Alison wanting to always give to people, and you're very humble about it, which I absolutely admire. What built this character in you, like to always want to give to people, give them a good experience, give people, give the world.
What makes you a giver?
Yeah, and you're doing it for selfless deed, like you're
Yeah.
doing it for selfless reasons.
There's an untold story there, I think.
Right. Let me think about that one.
That could be in your character, honestly.
No, I don't think so. I think we've all got it. Everybody's got it.
Okay, but you showed.
I think that I've met so many people. I'm very lucky in life that I meet everybody of all different types. But it is, excuse me, it's the people who stay
Yeah.
are the ones that can cope with my energy. So it is. Yes, I can say with everybody, no, that's not happening. I'm tough.
Yeah.
I was tough love and everything. But I've learnt it from Kuwait,
Okay.
Arab people.
Wow. Arabic hospitality, my
You
friend.
do.
I told you about
You
it.
are so giving.
Yeah.
What I find as well is also they save people. You have an argument in June or before Ramadan.
Okay.
At the end of it, the argument's gone and you start again.
Yeah.
Now that's a wonderful thing. A wonderful thing.
Okay.
Also, I loved learning. I'm learning because my research is all about the ladies who came here,
Okay.
and they lived here in the 19th century, 1800s and 1900s, and everybody goes, "Oh, well, that was then." Well, no, that's also now.
Yeah.
A huge time now.
Absolutely.
Don't dismiss it because it was
Yeah.
then. They learned how to cope and learn the language, and they
We
hadn't
can
got
learn
computers.
from what they
They
did
were
and
amazing.
accomplished. Absolutely.
And I've learned so much from them, and to look about who gives what. You'll give me when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Love
I'm
it.
happy because you're giving to me.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm actually accepting that. Now I'm
Right.
taking that to making change our energies. That's my physics
The
side of
beauty
me
of
working.
untold
That's
stories.
physics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my physics side. It's Arabian. That's what I found out about people in Kuwait. I find that when we went through we didn't go through the invasion because we
Right.
just left
Right.
with our baby. But I found the
Yeah.
in the braveness of people when I came back. This is the serious part
How
now.
they held together.
They were so brave, and they asked if we were all right. And I said, "Would you like me to do a play about Kuwait?" And they went, "Oh no, Alison, we would do no. We will. We have planted our seeds. Our flowers have grown," and that told me such a lot about this wonderful people, wonderful spirit with the horrors that they've gone through. And as I learned about the horrors they went through,
Yeah.
I took a play to the Edinburgh Festival Fringe about Antigone, and Antigone is a 3,000-year-old show from Greece, and it's about a woman who stands up for her country
Yeah.
when new invasion comes through. And I combined that, and I said, well, it's not just then. It was also Kuwait 1990. It was also Britain and Wales in the Roman invasion.
Right.
So I combined the Roman invasion and the Kuwaiti invasion together, and I took the Arabic English to
You kind of brought it from abroad and adapted it.
I did. I took it from
Okay.
Kuwait
Oh, okay.
to Britain.
Oh, so all the way around. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
we took it.
Got you.
And you have to get visas. It's very difficult
Right.
to take visas
See,
as well.
I'm so curious about your cultural understanding, and
Yes.
obviously, when you write a script, you have to adapt it to
Yes,
certain cultures.
absolutely.
So the question is, and I'm sure that's very, very difficult. How do you adapt a script that you bring from abroad, or whether you write it from scratch? How do you adapt it to the Arab culture, the Kuwaiti culture?
Well, first of all, you put it in Arabic.
Okay, so you write it in Arabic.
Oh, I have Arabic scripts,
Okay.
but I then put it in Arabic and find out the different meaning, because when it comes through, and I listen, so I talk, so I'll ask anybody who'll help me.
Okay.
One time we needed a linguist who was a Kuwaiti linguist. He was going to Egypt. He was going that night, and we'd just been working on the 1001 inventions in the Kuwait Scientific Centre.
Yeah.
I learned so much about the fact that the Islamic golden era was our dark ages,
Okay.
and that made me think, wow, I didn't know about this. So I'm put into situations which teach me, and we needed somebody for a show, and I needed somebody who could speak Fusha, and a proper Arabic.
Yeah.
Because when we actually perform with Arabic actors, somebody go, "Oh, that's Egyptian, Lebanese, whatever." So how did you know? They go, "We know." So we always stay with the classical Arabic. And he was running, and somebody said, "Oh, the place where you just worked has got a little studio." And I went, "Really?" So I phoned them up, and they opened it up at 12 o'clock at night. As he was running to the airport, he came and he recorded his stuff. And all they wanted was the money for the technician. That's how good people are. They do that because because I'm a not-for-profit, I don't ask for money. So I'm lucky if I actually have any of my, I haven't got any.
You don't ask
I've
for
just
money.
done a show.
So you don't ask for money, but people end up coming and giving you things that you didn't even expect them to.
Absolutely. And also we are now, our shows, because we work with the Dalat al-Islamiyya and the cultural season. That's been working and beautiful. Sheikha Hussa. The Council of Culture, Arts and Letters, they pay for the shows.
Wow.
So they watch the show and go.
So they must believe in it, and they must believe in the influence of it.
I love that there are a lot of supporters of theater in Kuwait, and
There are.
it's quite phenomenal.
They don't just support for nothing. They have to believe in what their actual
There's a
message
cause,
is.
there's a message,
Yes.
and there's always a message to be told in a great production. And any good production has to have
100%.
purpose and message.
Yes, it does. It
Yes,
does.
absolutely. Now, you've had tremendous experience in theater. You've had some experience in film. You've been on The Exchange, the head show. I want you as a director to give me the difference between, as a performer and a director, difference between working on a play and working in film productions. The energy, is it? The live
Also, who's the
theater
key?
energy?
Is the key person. The director and the actor. The actor's the key
right.
for theatre.
Yes.
So it's synergy between that. But that's not the same thing in film.
Right.
It's the people who film it and the editor. So they decide what the film
There are
is.
more
So you have a lot
aspects
to do
to it,
that.
yeah.
Also, the director never talks. I've done that. I've been film, and they don't talk to you because they've got to direct through a monitor.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're looking at the monitor, so they'll tell number one, number one will tell number two, number two will tell somebody what to do.
Yeah.
So all this bit of I'm talking to the
And
whatever.
as a performer, there's nothing like the reaction you get performing live on a stage.
I'm
Would
sure.
you agree?
I can only imagine.
Yes.
You're filming
Right.
in front of these 4 cameras.
I can only
You don't
imagine.
know the reaction
No.
of the people.
But then the looks at
in
people's
theater,
eyes.
yeah, in theater
Yes.
you get that live.
And they make you do it
Yeah.
because it's I think the French say j'assiste. I'm there to help the play.
Oh, yeah.
And the front row must always be with the people that you like.
Yeah.
Because they'll radiate it through their back. These are all the tricks of theatre. And you never play to a huge auditorium.
Yeah.
Because only, I think it's 22.5 meters is where your presence stops.
Okay.
And after that, and remember the people in the gods? So often you go to a play and they'll forget you if you're in the gods or the circle. They will never look up. And they always perform here or there. And they must do that. And the people that do, they're the masters. So I go and see great shows in Britain and wherever, and I go, wow, I like this.
Beautiful, honestly.
And what's so gorgeous is, if I really like a new, young actor, and I'll congratulate them from quite on their Instagram, and they go, oh, wait, did you really like me? You know? And I went to see Book of Dust, and fabulous young actor, and he's doing really well, and he's now followed me. And because there's a different feeling now of theatre people, there's no, I'm the diva, nobody likes divas, they're called wannabes.
I love it. Alison, I think we're coming to the end of the segment, and we would love to kind of like leave the viewers with kind of like a short piece of advice. Coming
Maybe
from,
for aspiring young actors.
again,
that want-
from the master of theatre, perhaps, someone that has had tremendous experience of theatre and a lot of giving experience. What piece of advice would you have for them?
Success, about how to get success.
No.
I think
Theatre.
Any word of advice for
Theatre,
aspiring young
always ask for help.
Ask for help.
Always go, and I do. Everybody does. If you don't and you think you know everything, then you will never go anywhere.
Yeah.
And you've got to, if you like somebody, you like what they're doing, go and ask for help. That's the biggest compliment for any actor.
Love
to
it.
be asked for help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love it. Love that advice. I
Alison,
hope they
thank
take
you
it
for
on.
your time and
Thank you.
joining us on the show. What a great conversation.
Love it. Thank you.
We'll come back for the wrap up right after this. Wow, what an episode. I love when I get to meet passionate people.
Yeah.
It's the second time I get to speak with Alison. And you can tell throughout her voice,
How much
the
she
words
loves,
she's using to
Yeah,
describe
absolutely.
things. A lot of passion, a lot of love, and loves to give back to the community.
Seems like it's a trend on Untold.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Seems like it's a lot of guests we sat with that, whether it's adventures,
Yeah. They're always driven by passion.
someone that wants to give to people because they believe the more you give, the more you get. Very interesting. And apparently everyone wants to do good, so ask people for things.
Absolutely. So we'll ask you for things.
Thank you so much for joining and watching this episode. We'll see you in the next one.
Good night.